Is there a certain type of courage you think is most important for leaders or entrepreneurs?
I think the most important courage is understanding what failure is. I think
Mm,
most of us see it as something to avoid at all costs. And I think it's integral to the development of any leader or entrepreneur. And we often ignore folks like Edison and Ford, who made hundreds, if not thousands, of mistakes and failed tens of thousands of times. And they never saw it as something to cry over. You're like, okay, well, this next mistake gets me closer to figuring this out. The next no gets me closer to the next yes. And so, whether it's in sales or marketing, whether it's creating a new product or a new service, there's a lot of beta testing involved. There's a lot of seeing what works and what doesn't involved. And the odds are that the first time out of the box, it's not going to work. The first rocket to be launched didn't fly very far. The first plane didn't go very far. And if somehow people thought, well, that's it, I'm not doing this anymore. It didn't
right.
work. So I think most entrepreneurs and leaders and so forth have to be okay with that. Now, at some point, it has to work, obviously. At some point, maybe you learn that the beta testing is that you have to scrap one idea and approach another, and that's perfectly fine. And you can always, change the steps you take. The goal shouldn't change. The mission, the endpoint doesn't change, but the process, the checklist, the steps, the protocols can and often it should change.
Right.
And so if you know where you're going, where you want to be, and what you ultimately want to accomplish, the line is never a straight line. And often there's a lot of pitfalls and obstacles in the way, and a lot of heartache and disappointment and frustration. And that's just part of the process. And if people understand better that that's part of the process, I think it makes it a lot easier.